Hello! I've been having one of those weird relationships with my style recently. The one where you open your closet and kind of go, I don't really like anything anymore. None of this stuff really fits me. This often happens to me in periods of change. And in response to this, about a month ago, I sketched up a capsule wardrobe keying in on items that I like, that would work with each other, as well as would work for what I do day to day. Now, when I sketched this out, I then started thinking about, what kind of fabrics would I want? And I started matching it up with fabrics that I already have in my stash. And it suddenly became an actual realistic plan, which leads us to the project. I pulled a pair of pants and a bodice from this capsule concept that we're gonna make. I've got a simple pants pattern that we're going to use as a block and some inexpensive black twill fabric, about 2-ish meters of it. The bodice will be made using McCall's 4107 option E, which I haven't made since I was like 14. But I've got about 1 meter of cotton velveteen for the outside and just some plain cotton poplin for the inside lining. I also have a zipper, 2 sliders, and some elastic for the pants, and fusible interfacing ribbon and some eyelets for the bodice. So let's jump on in. Starting with the pants, I pinned the main pattern pieces to the fabric and then widened the legs from about the mid-thigh down. I cut the pieces with extra seam allowance to allow me to adjust as needed when sewing. All of the darts were sewn into place first, 2 on each front piece and 2 on each back piece. Then I pinned and stitched the outer and inner leg seams. With right sides together, slide your right side facing leg into your inside out leg and match up the crotch seam. You should have the right side of the fabric of each leg facing each other. Then stitch along your front and back rise seams. You can then attach your waistband. I left some extra that I will deal with a little bit later. These next pieces are just 2 rectangles, one made with fabric doubled and one just a single layer of fabric that help to create the fly. I completely made up this part based on my favorite pair of pants, so bear with me. Sew your single fabric rectangle to the front side of the outer fly lap and then flip and press inwards. Attach your zipper to the other side of the pants, then attach your double rectangle over the top of your zipper tape edge to create your zipper guard. Make sure to attach these to your waistband. With the zipper closed, attach it to the other side of the fly on the single fabric rectangle. Stitch the bottom closed, catching both rectangles and the zipper. The waistband edge gets finished off, clipping corners, flipping right side out, and then hand sewing the inside edge. finish off the fly, I chose to add 2 sliders for a clean front finish. Finally, the pants needed to be hemmed. I decided on a gathered hem, folding over and sewing a channel for the elastic that will give a nice tight cuff. The very last touch was to anchor the zip down with some front fly top stitching. On to the bodice. Pin together the bodice front and side front. On the back bodice, mark where the lacing loops should go. Then clip your loop material of choice to size. I used some 7mm velvet ribbon. Pin the loops at each point so they are pointing towards the center back and baste into place. Pin the side back to the center back and sew. Stitch the front to the back at the side seams. I ended up going back and tapering this seam to get a better fit at my waist. I used 3 boning options for this. The first was a thick cable tie that I made a channel for using the seam allowance at the side seam. The other 2 were 2 types of commercial boning you can get from the craft store that I attached to the curved side front seam and the side back seam. The lining gets put together in the same manner as the main without the loops and the boning. The lining is then attached to the main fabric with the right sides together, and all of the curves are clipped before turning right side out. Open up your shoulder lining seams if you forgot and sew them together, and attach the main fabric shoulder sections together. Trim off the excess and slip one half of the shoulder lining under the other before folding the other raw edge under as well. Slip stitch into place and close up the hole at the back where you turn the garment right side out from as well. With the sewing finished, mark where the 14 eyelets should go and then make holes and hammer into place. I'm so happy with how these turned out. I've actually worn the pants a few times already because they're a nice mid-weight pant and they're super comfy, and I made them like a week before I made the bodice. The cuffed hem makes it easier to wear with boots, which is important to me without having to be fitted all the way up the leg. I do need to go back and add pockets, but other than that, I really don't have any complaints about these. The bodice is a fraction large. The back has a little bit too much room for my liking, and I like to have a little bit more space with the lacing on the front, just so that I can lace it down if I want to. I wear bodices and things like that without a bra because they are a support garment, and I like the ability to be able to lace it to my desired support. So it can feel more like a comfy sports bra in support level if I want it to. I have wanted a black velvet version for so long, it's almost silly that I haven't made one until now. I'll probably go over the gold eyelets as well in time because I wanted to use up the last of my not so great ones before I go and invest in more. But I might just order more because now I need more and just replace them as they fall out if need be. I expect that I will get a lot of wear out of both of these pieces. That is it for this project. If you like this video, you can check out my other videos, and if you really like this video, you can feel free to subscribe. I hope you have a lovely week. Bye!